Hello, and welcome to The Topic, where we highlight Houston Community College, our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. I'm Daniel Scholl, one of the financial coaches here at HCC, and we're here every week when HCC is in session, live on Facebook, YouTube, and HCC TV. Have you ever thought about a career where success is defined by helping people feel more beautiful, confident, comfortable, full, and happy? HCC's Consumer Arts and Sciences Center of Excellence might be the path for you. And I'm excited that today we are joined by the COE chair, Andrea Bonner. Andrea, welcome in.
Thanks, Daniel, for having us today.
Oh, we're thrilled you're here. I was wondering, can you just kind of give us a quick overview of what is Consumer Arts and Sciences?
Yes, consumer arts and sciences, and I'll say what it's not is home economics. People always can, revert back to that, but we are actually 5 very diverse workforce programs that support the Houston economy. We are fashion design, fashion management and merchandising, culinary arts, pastry arts, which are 2 separate programs, as well as hospitality administration. So those are the 5 programs that are in our COE, and they are all based at Central Campus.
I think that's great that you kind of brought that distinction out of what it's not, right?
Yes.
This is way beyond sewing and baking brownies. I mean, really in a full, thing of the economy, I think that's important, right? How important is this COE to the Houston area?
It's very important. Thinking of just about culinary in general, we've got like over 12,000 restaurants alone in Houston, and they represent about 70 different countries. So you can get all types of foods here. And we're training our chefs and pastry chefs to go work in all types of restaurants, bakeries. Also, our hospitality students are working not just in hotels, but country clubs. They're doing event management. There's such a wide array of positions that the students that we're training can go work in the Houston market. So we always tell our students, you don't have to go to New York. You don't have to go to Paris. You can stay right here in Houston and make a very lucrative career out of one of these, studying one of these programs. So we're excited, and hopefully students will consider coming to Central College and enrolling in these programs.
I hope so too. And Andrea, I think I called you Andrea at the top. I apologize about
That's
that.
okay. I answer to all of them. So
So do you see this forecast lasting for a while here in Houston, that this is going to be a robust economy for it?
absolutely. Well, I'll ask you this. Do you eat every day? Absolutely, you do. And you look like you've got a shirt on. So that's a good thing. You've got clothes on. So our industries are gonna be around, whether it's, it's never gonna go away. The restaurants, and there's always different kinds. And I know Chef Mariah is going to talk a little bit about this because she's great at cultivating great menus, but always going to be different variations of food. You're always going to have, in the industry, as far as we're talking about fashion, retail industry, we've heard good and bad. And those things are going to fluctuate from time to time, but it's never going away. It's just going to be a different iteration of how we sell clothes, how we promote close. Hospitality, we went through COVID a few years back, and the hospitality industry took a hit, a very short hit, but it recovered very, very nicely. There are a lot of niche hotels here in Houston. People are always getting married. So, lots of work for event planners, and our chefs can go and, be private chefs. They can also, and Chef Mariah will talk about a little bit about that. But also, our programs also, a lot of our students come through our programs, they say they want to start their own business. So they can not only go and work for, whether it's a restaurant here and work under chefs, or it's a retailer here, or different brands that are here, but they can also start their own businesses. And we work a lot, and we've got something coming up in the fall where we're going to be working with the Small Business Administration and SCORE, where they can come in and support our students who want to open up their own businesses. Like I said earlier, we're not New York, we're not Paris, but we're completely different in that the students can kind of forge their own path with the industry, with these programs that they're going to study here at HCC.
And you brought up a good point, right? That we are a little bit different. One of the things I understand that makes our programs different from some of those that are out there is that we do have very hands-on resources and facilities built into our programs.
Absolutely. In 2020, right before COVID, we opened our Culinary Arts building. We call it the CAB, Culinary Arts Building. If for those that used to know HCC, everyone thinks that HCC is the 3100 building, and Culinary used to be in the 3100 building. I actually think Chef Mariah may have taken classes over there, but we've got our own state-of-the-art culinary facility here. We've got people that study at other programs and they come and see our building. They're like, wow, you've got everything state-of-the-art equipment, facilities, all of that, as well as the fashion building. We have their own Fannin fashion building where the students again study fashion design as well as the business side of fashion, which Cheryl Whitaker will talk about the business side of fashion here in a little bit. But we've got our own buildings where the students can kind of come be immersed in those environments to learn what it is they're going to learn. And I know I talked about fashion. In our fashion building, we also have the Fashion Archive, which is historical garments dating all the way back to the 1700s. So we've got some pretty unique things that a lot of people don't even know that HCC offers. So we're really appreciative of the opportunity to be able to promote these programs today. And if students are interested, and I think that's probably going to be your next question, like where can they find us? Of course, you can find us online on the HCC website, but we also, and Cheryl Whitaker is our, not only the program coordinator, but she is our social media guru on the HCC Fashion School. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, as well as the Culinary Arts program to get a lot of information about what we do day to day and just updates on the program and all of that, programs and all that.
Well, I know enrollment's right around the corner. Still time for students to get into the programs?
Absolutely. There's still time, although a lot of the classes are full, which is a good problem to have, but there is still time to get into the programs. I know for fashion, for sure, we have regular term and we also have second start classes. So if they're not able to enroll for the classes that start on the 18th for both programs, I know for fashion that there are second start programs and maybe a couple of culinary programs that they can start, but most of those programs do start on the 18th. But you can register up until the day of, actually the week of. Students get in touch with us all the time about wanting to enroll in our programs, and we are open to taking them even up through the week of the first start of classes.
Excellent. Thank you for all that you're doing out here. It's incredibly dynamic, and you're right. We're the fourth largest city in America. We have a lot to offer.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what y'all have got going on in the future. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Cheryl about fashion merchandising and try it on for size.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. We think the Tooth Fairy should travel everywhere, and while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
Welcome back to the topic. We're continuing our exploration of consumer arts and sciences. And now joining us is Cheryl Whitaker, the program director for fashion management and merchandising. Cheryl, welcome in.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm glad you're here. You having a good day?
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Wonderful. First question, what is fashion management and merchandising?
So glad you asked. There's always a little bit of a misunderstanding about what fashion management and merchandising is. In fact, you often hear the term fashion merchandising, but in a nutshell, it is where students learn the actual business side of the industry. Again, when you hear the merchandising, people equate it with visual merchandising, but fashion management merchandising is so much more than visuals. It's the nitty-gritty of the business and how things are done behind the scenes.
Invaluable information, I would imagine, to the students, especially those that want to start their own businesses.
Yes, and and I'm glad we're having this conversation because people often associate fashion strictly with the design part, but the merchandising part is where the clothes get sold or purchased or brought into retail establishments.
And I understand we are expanding. We've got a new online program starting this fall.
Yes, we're very excited about it. We've been talking about it for a while, and now we've actually are at the point where we can offer a fully online program. We have so many students from different backgrounds and generations, and we're finding that people want to come back and try new job categories. And by having an online program, it will allow people who work during the day who may not be able to come to campus to actually get a degree, no matter where they are in the state or the world, fully online through our HCC online program.
That's it sounds like that's great innovation that's going on over there and probably dovetails with the future that they're going to have to experience.
Absolutely.
In retail as well. And I do have a question on jobs. So, I think like a lot of people, you think, oh, fashion management, merchandising, okay, you're either designing or you're, drawing, I don't know, what are the jobs that students can expect when they graduate?
So there are literally thousands of jobs in this industry. I always tell my students, they come in with the understanding of maybe three, being a designer, a visual merchandiser, or a buyer. But fashion is a $3.2 trillion industry last time I checked. And so the thing most people don't realize, it's a global industry and there are literally thousands of job categories because you're moving product around the world, you're moving goods. And so somebody's got to have that skill set. And what our intentions are is to expose students to what's available to them while teaching them skill sets they'll need to succeed.
It's incredibly important, right? I went to college, I was an English major. I thought, well, there's just one, I can teach, right? And then you get in there and you find out, no, that's one of the wonderful things about college. You can really explore what your future is.
Exactly. It's the opportunity to give students exposure to what's available to them.
And if a student, when they graduate this program, if they're, maybe not ready to jump right into industry, they want to continue and further that education, is this a degree that transfers?
Absolutely. So we have agreements with University of Houston. They have a program. We also have an agreement with LIM College in New York. Our goal is always to encourage students to continue their education. Now, some of our students realistically may not. And so for that, we will discuss potential entrepreneurial avenues that they can take. But ideally, you want to learn the business. You want to go to school, learn the business on somebody else's dime, as I like to say, before you go out into entrepreneurs on the entrepreneurial side of it. But yeah, we highly encourage them to continue their education.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you're right. I've sometimes as a financial coach, I feel this. I want to, just start my own business. Spend a little time in the industry. Let them train you for sure.
Learn the mistakes of others.
Yeah, and right, earn some money while you're doing it. Mm-hmm. We've already talked about it. It's creating an online platform. Technology, is changing most fields. It's getting more and more important every day. I assume fashion is no exception. What kind of industry-specific technologies do our students learn?
So fashion has been, it's been a long time coming for fashion and technology have met up, and we're finally here. A lot of that attributed to COVID. But yeah, students nowadays, it'll be hard to find a job if you don't incorporate technology into your training. So we incorporate 3D technology and 3D digital design. We also do digital visual merchandising. We partner with the XR Lab to create immersive spaces. A lot of technology. And so our curve is to get people to be not so afraid of technology, but to embrace it because it's where we are.
Yeah. You get a lot of students come in with like sketchbooks and you're like, well, that's where start, but the future is somewhere else.
We do. And I'll say I love the manual processes, but realistically, where we are right now, especially the fashion industry has always been challenged to clean up its act, if you will. Fashion industry is the second largest polluting industry in the world. And so, like so many other industries, we have to turn to technology for those solutions. And so if our students are going to effectively compete in the marketplace, they'll need to have technology in their background.
Well, I'm glad that we're equipping our students, not just for today, but really what the future in the industry is holding as well. If a student's interested in learning more about this, what do they do?
So they can always come to the HCC website. Our website always is a great place to just click the button to apply. But as Andrea mentioned in the previous segment, we also have social media platforms that I manage, and I'll answer any questions there and give them references as to how to get started.
Okay, and if a student wants to see the facilities or anything like that, do we do tours?
We do. We do recommend you reach out and schedule an appointment. We do have quite a few
Sure,
people
sure, yeah.
randomly stop by, but
No drive-bys, please.
right. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, we'll be happy to show you around campus.
And are y'all located at one campus or are you kind of sprinkled throughout the district?
We are. We're at Central Campus. We're in our own building, the Fannin building at 3601 Fannin, 77004.
Excellent. And then one last question for you. So this fashion archive that we have, is that something that like, if just somebody's interested that they could schedule something to go look at, or is that strictly for our students?
No, we've hosted quite a few events with the archive folks. There's a whole team behind that. Andrea could probably speak to it more than me, but yeah, it is open to the public. But again, you want to call and schedule rather than just showing up.
For sure, yes. Well, Cheryl, this has been just fascinating. It's neat to see that there's, it's like layers of an onion, right? There's so much more to it than we think.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for coming in. We're going to take one last quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about my favorite topic, eating, and we're going to get cooking with culinary arts.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Hello, and welcome back to The Topic. We're continuing our exploration of consumer arts and sciences today, and I'm excited to have in with us right now Chef Mariah Scott. She brings her experience as a celebrity chef, a global tastemaker to the classroom with the a la carte program here at HCC. Chef Mariah, welcome in.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we're thrilled that you're joining us today. So what is the a la carte program? And I understand this is really something very unique for our students in our community.
Yes, so a la carte, right? I don't know if you've been to a restaurant where you sometimes may have to order off of an a la carte menu.
I have, yes.
Oh, you have? Okay, great. So it's kind of the concept of the course. It's basically a prefixed menu that's designed weekly. I design the menus, create the recipes, and it's all executed by students. So it's a public-facing fine dining restaurant operated by students who take the course of a la carte. It is a course that they have to take prior to graduating. So the course is designed for students to use all of their fundamentals that they learned from previous semesters and to use those things to apply in real world operations.
That's wonderful. And that takes place on campus, that meal?
Yes, it's on campus. So in the fall semester, it's offered on Thursdays, and we do a lunch service. So it's really nice. It's about an hour and a half service, and it changes from 5 to 6 courses, just depending on the season of the menu. But yes, we offer it on campus. It's at our main location, 1401 Alabama.
In the Culinary Arts Building?
Yes, Culinary Arts Building.
That's exciting. I tried to get in last semester, but that ticket goes fast.
We have been selling out every week, which is a great problem to have. However, coming up in the fall, I'm going to be adding more seats, so we'll have the opportunity to serve more people this fall.
And how does this, help them understand real world restaurant experience?
So it helps students understand it not only from it's one thing to learn technique, right? Educating students, the culinary arts, the foundations of culinary, how to make a mother sauce, how to make a stock. But there's another part of the industry of where you have time constraints. You're actually serving guests who have to eat your food, and you're working in groups with strangers. And so having these different fundamentals and dynamics really pushes students and kind of builds a lot of confidence as well with the skills that they've already learned from prior semesters.
No, it makes sense, right? You're going to need that practical experience as you go on with your career. Now, I mentioned at the top that you are a celebrity chef and a global tastemaker. How does that background influence the way you lead and inspire your students? Yes,
so I am an alumni of HCC, so I am a product of the Culinary Arts program. I graduated from HCC. And once I graduated, I went on to do some amazing things, worked for a very elite clientele, did TV and all of that, and then also traveled the world. I know Andrea mentioned that 70 countries, so I've actually been to 30 of 70 countries. And so bringing back those global inspirations of food and being able to share that knowledge with students, where a lot of our students have never left Texas. So they may not be introduced to certain flavor profiles or ingredients. Also, culinary arts, the foundation is French cuisine. So I like to incorporate different global, international flavors. I also like to tap into some of our students, some of their own historical regions where they're from, because you have more passion when you are able to cook things that are more personal to your own story. So I think having that background of travel, of working with high demand, and knowing what it's like to be in all these different kitchens where I can come into the classroom and share that experience, that knowledge, and just also show students that you can do it. You don't necessarily have to own a food truck. You can go on and go to Paris, or you can open up your own business and have a franchise of restaurants, because I'm a product of that.
And not only have you been using that experience, but I also understand you've been using your industry connections to help create opportunities for our students through partnerships, specifically the Feed the Soul Foundation?
Yes, so I'm big on connections. Actually, I told one of my classes last week, I was like, there's one thing that I want y'all to take away from this course is that don't burn bridges. A lot of the industry is about connections. It's about who you know. It's about building relationships. So just building relationships with other chefs, partnerships. I try to encourage students to do that, to get out into the field. You may have to work one day for free, but the experience and the knowledge that you'll gain from that is priceless. So building those relationships outside of the classroom, I think, is important for growth, and also to help build their confidence, working with people who have been in their shoes previously.
For sure. And what is the Feed the Soul Foundation? Can you talk about that just briefly?
Thank you. Yeah, so Feed the Soul Foundation is a nonprofit organization that I've been working with for the last couple of years. They hold a global culinary conference where I've spoke on the panel, and a lot of the students from HCC have actually have gone to the conferences where they teach you different skills as far as starting a business, back of house operations. They provide funding and things like that. And they held their first annual celebrity chef dinner, where students from my a la carte class had the opportunity to work with celebrity chefs. It was a multi-course dinner, and students came and they real life experiences, you know, working back of house, working front of house. It really just showed up. So the Feed the Soul, because of that event and how well and the HCC students did, they offered a scholarship and wanted to support the program. And so 5 students were selected to receive that scholarship this year.
Oh, that's amazing. Well done. Congratulations to those students too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, they were so excited. A lot of them were first semester students. So this was their first experience in this type of environment. And they were it was just, I don't even know how to describe the feeling that they had, just, you know, this fast-paced environment, working with chefs who've been in the game for like 20 years, and it's their first year in culinary. You know, so receiving that scholarship really helped to motivate them and just inspire different things for them in the future.
For sure. One last question for you. Houston is just an amazing culinary city. Name a country, you probably have a restaurant with that country's food. How do you combine the cultural richness of Houston with your Southern roots and that global flavor that we have here?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I'm still trying to figure that out, but you know, each week I do different menus. The foundation is the South. We're in Houston, Texas. So like you said, we have cuisines from all over the world, but I think the majority of our restaurants are Southern and Creole inspired. So I try to take that, especially with Creole, you have French cuisine, which is the foundation of culinary. So just taking that foundation of what culinary arts is, and then taking the modern approaches with culinary arts, it's just merging 2 of them together, I guess, like a pot of gumbo. But it's a slippery slope, but you know, just being able to merge the 2 cultures. Food is a language, you know, and it's a language that everyone speaks. So it's just finding ways to tap into different things.
Well, I can't wait to see what you're going to do this year with your students and what we've got in for the future. Chef Mariah, thank you for taking some time out to come join us today.
Thank you for having me so much.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank all of you out there for joining us today on the topic. If you enjoy the show, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube as Houston Community College District. To listen to the topic and more HCC TV programming, visit hccs.edu/podcasts. For the topic here on HCC TV, I'm Daniel Scholl.